Hey guys, if it looks like I'm glowing, it's because the sun is so bright coming in the window this morning. I'm glad to have the sun shining though. It's shining right on the left side of me over here and warming me up this morning, waking me up too. I'm recording this lesson first thing on a Wednesday morning. So anyway, this is your lesson for this Monday morning. This is your assignment, I should say. So we're going to look at some slides today. We're comparing fractions as you saw in the lesson, which means we're deciding which fraction is greater than or less than or equal to. So what you're going to have today is 4 slides. Please put your name on the first slide. Remember, like we did a couple weeks ago, just click, hit delete, and then type in your name. Your name is not Scott. That's my name. You can't have it. Sorry. Well, let's look at the next slide here. So what we're doing on this slide, I'm going to do one example on each slide for you, and they'll be done on your assignment too, so you can see what to do. On this page, what we're doing is we're doing 3 things on each one of these 4 squares. We're going to use the purple colors here, or the little squares, and we can stretch them to represent this fraction. So 7/12, I'm going to put it up here, and I'm going to cover up 1/12, 2/12, 3/12, 4/12, 5/12, 6/12, 7/12. Now make sure you've got it right. You might want to double check yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7/12. Then I can use the second one and I can cover up 3/4. So it's going to look like 1, 2, 3/4. All right, so there's what 7/12 looks like. And here's what 3/4 looks like. Now that I've done that, it's easy for me to see that 3/4 is greater than 7/12. So the next thing I want to do, don't forget this part or you'll get it wrong, is I want to go into my little circle here and erase don't worry about that little thing right there, erase the question mark, and I want to put that 3/4 is greater than 7/12. Now, how did I put that mark on there? If you look at the bottom of your keyboard, right next to the shift key at the bottom right, okay, you've got the question mark, and then you've got to the left of it, you've got those greater than and less than signs above the comma, the period, and the backslash. So what you have to do to get those on the top to show up is you have to push the shift button and whichever one you're going to choose at the same time. You may already know that, but just in case you don't. And then if you'll look, if any of these happen to be equal, if you look above the top right corner next to your delete key, you've got that plus sign and that equal sign. So the equal sign is on the bottom. You wouldn't have to push the shift key. It would put equal automatically. You'd have to put the shift to get the plus, but not the equal because it's on the bottom. So if you have any problems with that, ask mom or dad to show you how to make the greater than or less than sign, or you can send me an email and I'll remind you, okay? All right, so that's what you do on this slide. Stretch out your little shapes, little squares, so they show the fraction that this shows, and then click in the circle and put greater than or less than. On this slide, what we have is kind of something similar to what we just looked at, except they've already got it stretched out for you. This time, we have to tell what these fractions represent, and then we're going to just drag these greater than, less than, or equal signs up here, okay? So I'm going to do this one just so you won't be confused. And I'm going to do this one as an example. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my top shape, I'm going to put it on this first fraction right here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 out of what? 9, 10, 11, 12. So remember, I saw a couple people got confused that whatever number is shaded in, that number goes on top. And the whole shape, whatever parts it's divided in, goes to on the bottom. So that shows 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then twelfths. So this is 8/12. Okay. Now my bottom fraction, that's easier, isn't it? 1, 2 out of 3. So remember, the number shaded goes on top in your numerator. The bottom number is how many pieces altogether. So 2/3. So now I know that this is 8/12 and 2/3. And if I look at this picture here, would you say one is greater than, less than, or would you say they're equal? They're equal, aren't they? So 8/12 and 2/3 are equivalent fractions. So I'm just going to click on the equal sign, And I'm going to drag it right up here between them, just like that, okay? You obviously won't use all these. You'll just use 5 more. So that's how you do this. Type in your fraction. Please don't put 12/8. That's not 12/8. That's 8/12, okay? And 2/3. And then drag whichever sign you think belongs up there, okay? That's that slide, so that's not that hard. I think this slide's kind of fun. This slide, we're going to take these little smiley faces and we're going to put them up here on the timeline to represent where it would be on the timeline. Now, I'm just going to do one for you. So notice these are already split. The timeline's already split for you into the correct number of pieces. So this is 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's already got it split for you. You just got to put the smiley face where 2, 6 would be. So here would be 1, 6. Here would be 2, 6. Okay. So that would be there. 3/4 would be 1, 2, 3/4. So 3/4 would be right there. Now look at these. Which one's bigger? If we had that shape colored in, it would go from here to here for 2, 6, but from here to here for 3/4. So we see that 3/4 is greater than 2, 6. So I've got to go to my keypad down here and I've got to put that symbol in. Mouth eats the bigger one. So 3/4 is greater than 2, 6. Now I'm going to erase this because there's only 2 slides right here. And I want you to do these. Only 2 problems on this slide. So I want you to do them, okay? So make sure you go back and do it. I just showed you the answer to the first one, so that should be easy. On this last side, I want you to think. This is just some reasoning skills, okay? So we're going to look at these fractions. We're going to decide which one of these are less than 1/2, which ones equal 1/2, and which ones would be greater than 1/2. Now, guys, don't let this confuse you. It's very simple. Let's start with the 1/2, and I'll put 1 in each one of these for you as examples. So for 1/2, the numerator, the number on the top, is exactly half of the denominator, the number on the bottom. So the number on top has to be half of the number on the bottom. So I see 5/10 right here. Is 5 half of 10? It sure is, because 2 times 5 is 10. So that one would go in this box, okay? So there's 1 that's equal to 1/2. Just remember, if you multiply the top number times 2, you get the bottom number. In other words, the top number is half of the bottom number. All right? So how could we find then what fractions would be less than half? Well, that would mean if it were tenths, anything less than 5 would be equal to less than 1/2, right? So do we see any more tenths down here that's less than 5? Oh, there's 4/10. That would be less than 1/2 because 4 is less than half of 10. What about anything greater than 1/2? Well, it would have to be greater than 5/10, wouldn't it? Because anything bigger than 5 would be more than half of 10. So here's a 6/10. So I can put 6/10 up here. All right. So that's how you're going to do this. If the top number is more than half of the bottom number, like this one is obviously, 5 is more than half of 6. So I know it's going to be greater than 1/2. I'll put one more up there for you. If it's less than half, the number on top is going to be less than half of the bottom number. 1 is less than half of 4. So it goes here. Now, that's all I'm going to put up there for you. Okay, you're going to have to do the rest by yourself. So use my examples. All you have to do on this page, remember, do the halves first. That's easy. If the top number is half of the bottom number, put it here. If the top number is less than half of the bottom number, they're equal to less than 1/2. If the top number is greater than half of the bottom number, and I really should be saying numerator is greater than half of the denominator, then you put them over here. Okay? So here's these 4 slides for your assignment today. They will be graded, so make sure you turn them in. Don't turn this in without any work completed like I had so many people do 2 weeks ago, because then you get a 0 until you get it turned in and completed. So get this done before you turn it in. All right, get to work. See you tomorrow.